Hello everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. Here's my 2023 Lexus GX. Why did I buy this? Well, two obvious reasons. One is that this is the last V8 powered Lexus SUV, and also this one provides some glimpse into the future because this is the closest thing to the Land Cruiser Prado that's likely coming to North America in 2023. So let me tell you more about what's happening with the Land Cruiser Prado along with what could be changed for Lexus GX in the 2024 model year. Let's go. Welcome back. So here's my 2023 Lexus GX, and I'm very excited because I'm almost 100% sure that this is the last year for V8 powered Lexus SUV. It's just the IS 500 and LCE 500 that's left with a V8 engine. So you know what? This is going to be amazing because this V8 engine is worth keeping. Now, having said that, when the new 2024 or 2025 model year Lexus GX shows up in about a year or a year and a half, if I like it, I will trade this in for a new model. So there's lots of exciting things to talk about. But the most interesting thing about this Lexus GX is that this is the closest thing to the Land Cruiser Prado because the body profile and the basic architecture is almost identical, except for the fact that this one has the beautiful V8 engine, and Land Cruiser in Japan and elsewhere have either a 4-liter V6 engine, that's the same engine in the Toyota 4Runner, or they also have a turbo diesel engine. So those are some interesting powertrain that will likely not come to North America when the new model comes out. But let's speculate together what is going to happen to Land Cruiser Prado by walking around my GX, so we can try to figure out what the 2024 Land Cruiser Prado might be like in terms of features, options, and also design. By the way, the last video I did about Land Cruiser Prado happens to be one of my most popular videos with a huge number of views and also a lot of comments. And many of you guys were doubtful that Toyota will bring back the Land Cruiser Prado to North America. But based on some new speculation from TFL, according to their sources, it is indeed the Land Cruiser Prado that's coming back. So I'm really glad that I was the very first YouTuber to speculate and predict that it is a Land Cruiser Prado that's coming to North America sometime end of 2023 calendar year. So let's go back to this GX right here and try to figure out exactly what might happen to either the Land Cruiser Prado or the Lexus GX, both of which are going to be new for 2024 model year to be introduced sometime end of 2023. So first, design-wise, we're hearing lots of rumors that the new generation Land Cruiser Prado and the Lexus GX will have this beefed up muscular look that is very different from the current model. The current model has a very clean profile, looking a lot like a normal SUV from any other brand. But the new models are supposed to have the Land Rover Defender or the Ford Bronco look with a very off-road design. We were not quite sure what that means yet, but I would expect these shoulders to be quite different with this bulging out on both the front and the back. We do have this traditional circular line on the side profile, but I expect these to bulge out a little bit more for both the Land Cruiser Prado and the Lexus GX, the new version that is. And also the tire will look a little bit different because these are once again too much like SUV looking, but these designs will change. But if we were to go back to the front design for a moment, because I want to make sure that I cover that off, the front design right now has a traditional Lexus look with the classic spindle grille, which some people love and some people don't like. And I actually expect to probably keep that design, at least for the new Lexus GX, and then the Land Cruiser Prado will have a different design altogether. But this kind of grille will likely change to have a more bolder, much more aggressive look. And then the headlight is a big controversial area. Would the headlight have a circular look, much like in Mercedes G-Class or Land Rover Defender, or even the Wrangler and Ford Bronco, all have a circular headlight. But the rumors I'm hearing for both the Land Cruiser Prado and the Lexus GX is that they will not have a circular headlight. So that's something that we still have to figure out. But I suspect that maybe the design of this lens will be different, more aggressive, maybe more rounder looking. But inside, they'll probably keep the same kind of a tri-LED design because they already have that figured out in terms of technical side of things. It'll be a lot easier and cheaper to maintain some of the internal components. So maybe the lens will look more like a Defender, but inside will probably be more like this style and not have a round headlight. So that's something that will be really interesting to figure out. Now let's go back to the back of the SUV for a moment here. And the GX has this classic vertical look. And in the case of Land Cruiser Prado, because it's more or less identical to the GX, they have a similar looking rear tail lamp, but with some line cut through. So I expect the Land Cruiser Prado or even the Lexus GX version of the Prado to have a little bit of a vertical design, but that's a signature part of the Prado slash GX lineup. I don't expect to go horizontal like this, except for maybe the actual Land Cruiser Prado. If it follows the same kind of design theme as all other Toyota SUV, maybe it will have a horizontal tail lamp, as you are seeing in the new Grand Highlander and also the current Land Cruiser 300 series. So those are things we still have to kind of figure out as well. I expect this side design to be changed. I'm 100% sure it'll go back to normal lift back design, because this is just not conducive to North American daily lives. So that will probably change. Right now, I know a lot of people don't like it this way, but I don't mind it. And the reason why it swings this way, because it is a global product, but also for me, coming out of the driver's side and just opening it and throwing something and closing it actually is totally fine. So I actually prefer that it's open this way. And you still get this opening here as well. So even though we don't have a roll down window like a 4Runner, actually this is totally fine as well. So we expect the back to change quite a bit. And back to the side profile here, you'll be quite different from what you see right now. As I mentioned earlier, it'll be interesting to see the differentiation between Land Cruiser Prado and the GX when the new model comes out. Because right now the Land Cruiser Prado and the GX, the current model, look very similar. The front is different, the back is a little bit different, but the basic body profile and design are very similar. The inside is very different as well between the current Land Cruiser Prado and the current GX. So how would Toyota and Lexus differentiate the new Prado and the new GX? That is going to be super interesting to speculate. I suspect both will share some of the similar design, but the rumors I'm hearing is that the two are quite different compared to the current model, which looks a lot alike each other. Now, what about the inside? Let's take a look to see how Toyota or Lexus might change the new Prado or new GX to the new standard, because this one is pretty outdated inside. Now, before I talk about the inside, let's talk about the powertrain, the most controversial topic. And so I did speculate that the new Land Cruiser Prado will have a detuned version of the 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 that is currently used in a number of Toyota and Lexus models. But we're also hearing rumors that it could be the 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine on the Land Cruiser Prado. So that one is still 50-50 either way. I actually think that it could still be the 3.4 V6, but it's very possible that they will ditch that and only put the 2.4-liter turbo four-cylinder engine with or without hybrid on the Land Cruiser Prado side. I suspect that on the GX side, even though it's based on the Prado, that it will have the 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6, which has been detuned so that it doesn't have the same power and torque as a Lexus LX. But obviously, both of those are speculations. We're not quite sure yet. Now back to the interior of the Land Cruiser Prado or Lexus GX. This model has been updated a couple years ago with Apple CarPlay, but still wired Apple CarPlay, and in general, it is still pretty outdated. So the new version, whether it's a Land Cruiser Prado or Lexus GX, will have substantially upgraded interior with a much bigger screen, more than likely the 14-inch display for the infotainment system that's shared across the board for the new Lexus and new Toyota models, and a full digital instrumentation in the center cluster. So those are expected. I don't think we'll lose the buttons in general, because Toyota and Lexus fortunately have been giving us buttons still. But things like the steering wheel control, some of these door trims will all change. I hope that they'll still give us the traditional shifter front and back, because I really like that. And the new Tundra kept the traditional shifter, so I think that will stay. But maybe on the Lexus GX model, it could be a dial or maybe more of an electronic type shifter, along with possibly having electric door controls, which is on the Lexus NX as well as the RX. I'm not too crazy about that push button electric door latch, but most likely that's what we're going to get in the new GX. But in the Prado, hopefully we will still have a traditional door open and close, because really there's no reason to have electric version of the door mechanism. Now there should be also an improved safety features for both the Prado and the GX with Lexus 3.0 or 3.0 Plus. So those things will be upgraded as well, with potentially hands-free driving mode during the cruise control driving. Now what about the actual driving character? Well, I really like the way this GX drives, because it still has traditional hydraulic power steering, give you lots of feedback from the road and a really good road feel, and actually handles pretty decent as well. But the new version will definitely have full electric steering, which means we're going to lose some of that sensation. Having said that, the new Tundra that I've owned have a pretty good feedback even though it's electric steering. So maybe they will be able to continue to calibrate this to the point where the steering feel might be decent. There should be a lot of other improvements, including a full panorama moonroof or sunroof, as well as changes to the rear seats and the third seat, because the third seats are right now very cramped and a bit awkward to get in and out. So lots of comfort features will be improved as well. So what do you guys think? If the 2024 Land Cruiser Prado end up with a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with or without hybrid, and the Lexus GX, which is also new for 2024, end up with a 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 engine, again with or without hybrid, which one would you buy? Well, it's going to be a bit of a tricky situation because in either case, it's a bit of a downgrading as they move from a V6 to a turbocharged 4 and moving from V8 to a V6 engine. So if I were trying to figure out whether to trade in my 2023 Lexus GX, which I just purchased, I'm going to have a hard time because most likely I'm going to struggle to let go of this GX with a beautiful V8 engine to replace it with a Land Cruiser Prado with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Although I could be convinced to trade up to a 2024 Lexus GX with a twin-turbo V6 engine, especially if it comes with a hybrid, because I'm already familiar with that engine that is in the 2022 Tundra TRD Pro that I own. And I could kind of live with that even though I love this V8 engine. In both cases, it's going to depend a lot on the design, the feature set, and the performance and the feel of those SUVs when it finally comes out. And those are things we just don't know at this point in time. Now, I do still own a 2021 Toyota 4Runner with a 4-liter V6 engine, so I could potentially trade that one in and keep this Lexus GX with a beautiful V8 engine. Or perhaps I would trade in my wife's Toyota RAV4 Prime for either Land Cruiser Prado or a Lexus GX. Whatever happens, it's going to be really interesting to keep on speculating and predicting what's going to happen, because all things to do with Land Cruisers and 4Runners and Lexus GX are super exciting, and I just can't wait to continue to talk about it. Now, I'm going to be in Japan in a few weeks' time, attending some of the press conferences in Japan. So who knows, maybe they'll begin to talk about the Land Cruiser Prado or the Lexus GX in terms of 2024 model year. And if I do end up hearing anything official, obviously I'm going to share that with you. But until next time, I'm really curious to find out, what do you look forward to in terms of the 2024 Land Cruiser Prado or 2024 Lexus GX? Both are going to be radically different from the current model in terms of the powertrain, in terms of the design, and who knows, it might be just a beautiful and amazing vehicle, and I'll be tempted to trade in one of my cars for those new models. Well, sooner or later, we're going to find out more and more about these vehicles, so let's keep on talking and discussing and figuring out what's going to happen to these new models. If you can give me a thumbs up, make some comments, and subscribe, that would be truly appreciated. But until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.